Welcome to
Grab Life by the Horns.
Powered by Legacy Builders Global, and we are Jennifer Pecan and
Jan-Mark Pecan.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Grab Life by the Horns. And we are talking today about the topic honesty and why being honest is the only way what allows us to grow in life and in business. And I'm inspired with this topic by the Podcast of Mareike Spaleck. She spoke about honesty as well this week, and it makes me think about it just fit in this in especially my situation right now, and made me think about this situation or different situations. It made me think about inspired me as well, or pushed me, whatever you want to call it, to ask me different questions. And for example as well, and what are the right people in my life, and do I am honest at the moment with these people? And this is what triggered me a lot. Like, I think 2 days ago, yesterday, it was yesterday, what triggered me a lot. And I thought, well, this was such a huge learning for me that I want to share this with you while I'm still sitting here in quarantine and having a beautiful view on the sea and enjoying the sun. Sharing with you about the topic honesty and how much can bring it for you. And I think as well that a lot of times we are not even honest to ourselves. We think about we think that we are honest, but most of the time we are not really honest to ourselves, or we just push this thought away because we are focusing on something different. And sometimes not like, I'm not saying like you have to do it like day in and day out and going deep with your thoughts and ask you all these fundamental questions on a daily basis. But from time to time, it's really necessary and needed to check if you're still on the right, if you are still on the right track. And I did this yesterday, and even though it's not really the fundamentals are not changing, but it allows me to think about. In this case, I thought about a friendship, what is really important for me. And I had some pain points there, and I wanted to fix them. So, and this podcast motivate me to think about what is really my problem in this case, and what I want to communicate, and what I really want to change, and how I want to make it different. And I want to share this with you a little bit about the story, because it's really, I realized a huge process with me and with my personal development in the last years as well, because we of course talked about the a talk about years ago in order to just figure out where our zero is, and what we are talking about, and that we are just make our expectations right again, and our expectations about our life, about our friendship, about how we communicating with each other, about different situations. And it was really helpful. And this process, even though it's a good thing you're doing this, and then you're cleaning up your mind, and you're cleaning up your thoughts, and you have more clarity for yourself. This process is always combined with a lot of tears, with a lot of emotions, and it's takes so much energy for your brain that you cannot do it every day. This is what I mean. And but it's important that you take the time and reflect those things from time to time. Yesterday it was the time for me, and I just listen at the moment of of different, like, call it signs from the universe if you want, what are sending to me with different topics, what people send me. I have to look at it, or like, and you feel something sometimes, like a topic is really triggering you in one or the other way. And this podcast triggered me to listen in, and I did. And it triggered me as well to think about this friendship, because I was not really satisfied. I was not really happy, and I just want to change that. And this is something, in the first step, I thought, well, when I was asking me these questions about, like, do I really want this friendship like this, or are we still on the same page? Do I have the same feelings? If it's important for me, and all the things like this. These are all questions which you need a lot of courage, because the answer could be no. And then you have to basically, well, it's not like a must, but you should act with all the consequences then. Like, if you have a friendship and you realize you don't want this friendship anymore, and it's not important for you anymore, and you are like, there's just a huge cut, then you should go with the consequences as well, and make it clear for everybody then that there are no wrong expectations of each side. And this is, and I figured out, maybe a lot of people are not doing this because you have to be really brave to ask you these questions. In Mareike's case, she was asking herself these questions as well about her marriage. So, but I don't want to discuss this in this podcast right now, but this is like, to ask yourself these questions is really brave, and you really need a lot of courage to go deep in your thoughts and what you feel and what you want from life, and follow your heart and not the heart of anybody else. And this is something I really learned and figured out yesterday. Well, maybe you heard it before as well, and but there's a point, and we had this a lot of times already in our podcast. It's a difference if you understand the words and if you understand the meaning of the words, but when if you can connect these words and this understanding with an emotion, then you really understand it on a deeper level. And yesterday I had another aha moment for me, and I really sat down and just like the whole week I tried to to write my journal and to find this moment where I can really reflect on myself. And that it took so long showed me as well that I was really, really exhausted the weeks and months before, like everything, like what we did. And I was really like pushing through until, I cannot do anymore. Usually I'm really I recover really fast when I have like a lot of stress and all the things like this. I don't need a lot of time to recover and move on. But this time, or like to come to this point where I can reflect and listen to myself on this deeper level. This time it took already like a week in order to come to this point. What shows me this is like what I did before was really, really dangerous. And I should listen more to myself and should not do this again, definitely. But I don't want to give you the feeling or to say right now, like, don't push through when it's needed. Just like know your body and know when it stops. And I'm really happy that I had this forced break And I would need, like, I really was looking forward to that. And you have different milestones, and I really know like how far I can push. And I said already, like, I cannot do this energy level the whole time again. And but it's like, well, the appointment was set, and I knew that I have this 10 days. So then you have like the last reserves in your body, and you can push through. It's another story, but everybody has to decide it for themselves. And it's just, I just don't want that, because a lot of people take this as an excuse, not pushing through when it's needed, because they say, well, but I want to listen to my health as well. Yeah, that's right, but it doesn't mean that you cannot go to your limits or sometimes over your limits. This is important as well in order to know where your limits are. And so I was sitting down and reflecting about this friendship and being honest. And I said, well, this is right. I need to talk to her. I need to to be open and honest and share this. And there are some things what you say, well, actually, I don't like this, or I don't feel comfortable with the situation, but you cannot really communicate that. And I have this, sometimes it's just a feeling, and you cannot really say what's wrong. And yesterday, when I did this, let's call it exercise, I found the words somehow. It was not like really clear, but I found the words, and I could communicate in different ways. And I think there are still some misunderstandings open, so we are figuring out that through the next weeks. But it was not a difficult step for me to take the phone and talk to her. So it was like, once you made this decision and that's the right thing, then I could not wait to share these thoughts with her, that we really can come to the next level. So, and then there are different things, like you can give feedback or one or the other way. And this is like as well, like how you communicate different things, how you're communicating your like when you are hurt, or when somebody hurts you, when you feel like not comfortable in different situations, and all the things like that. You can give another person the feeling that this person is guilty, or you just can try to be objective and talk about yourself as well, and about your emotions. And this is like, communicating with respect and love and appreciation. And this is all things like what I learned through my process in the last years. And I just want to share another aspect here as well, because we had, as I already mentioned, we had another talk, like I think like 1 or 2 years ago. I think it was 2 years ago. And because we are going through a really difficult situation right now, and I was really open there too, and shared, my thoughts there. So it was not that I did it for the first time. I was just like, sometimes it needs a little bit longer, and it all depends where your focus is on and where you put your energy on. And she said to me, like, as well yesterday, that I said, well, because we really, in the beginning of our journey, and this is important to know for the situation, for this aspect, we were focusing from the negative mindset to the positive mindset. So we were really shifting our mindset. And for those of you who already did it, knows that it's really an exhausting process. It's a long process. And it's a painful process as well. So we were in a really toxic environment, we figured out. And we had a lot of people around us. They were thinking negative, or they are focusing more on the complaints instead of looking on what's possible and how you can change the things that you feel comfortable again, and that you get the results you want to have. So, and in the beginning, when we made this mindset shift, and obviously we had a coach for that, so it was not, it was not only on us. So we had a coach for that. But when you start this process, for me, it was easier not hearing about anything negative thoughts at all. Like if I realize that people are really negative, then I shut down, and I'm not listening. So this is how I was starting this process, because it was way easier for me only talking to positive thinking people instead of seeing the difference and picking the cherries out of this conversation and shifting it in my mind to a positive situation. But it was really hard for me to talk to this person at this time, because the only thing what I could do was black and white and not the gray zone. Well, while are you growing and you change or you grow your personal development as well, or like you change it or you work on that, however you want to call it, is you are in a process and you are learning, like going back from black and white to the gray zone, and I don't want to even call gray zone, I want to call it colorful zone, because there are so many colors in between you can pick, and you cannot say that every person, definitely not say that every person is the same. We are all individuals and we are all really different, and I'm really happy and grateful for this. But the thing is, like, if you shift from one thing to another, for me in the beginning, is it easier to go from one extreme to another. And this is in different perspectives as well, like in different situations. Like, for example, changing the nutrition. Like, again, like in quarantine, I cannot choose eating or living vegan at the moment, because I get what I get. And if I'm hungry, I'm eating it. So I can try to be conform with my vegan nutrition, but it's not. But when I'm hungry, I'm eating the rest too. And this is a different situation. But but when I go out at the end of this week, I know that beginning of next week, after celebrating and all the things like this as well, I will have my complete shift again in the other extreme, focusing again and doing a 30-day challenge on eating vegan and clean for 30 days, because it makes it easier for me to find the balance again. And I do this from time to time to just go to switch in the extreme situation in this extreme bubble, because it makes it easier to focus on the thing what I want to focus on. And in this case with the mindset, she told me, you don't want to talk to the people, and so I had the feeling I cannot tell you when I'm sad or when something shit happens or all the things like that, because you don't want to hear it. So I just did not tell you. And it was the right thing for this at this period of time, like 2 years ago or 2.5 years ago. I'm not, I don't know when we had a talk, but it was a while ago. And with Corona, I lost totally my my feeling for the time, to be honest. It was the right thing for this period of time. But now, because I worked on this and I really worked really hard on this, and I see all the different colors, I can handle this compliance or the negative thoughts as well way better than I was able like 2.5 years ago. And this was another realization what I had yesterday. Like sometimes, and in the beginning when I met Jan-Mark, for example, and we are dating since 18 years this year, is I thought like being honest means that you have to say directly, straight what you think, and doesn't matter if you hurt the people or you don't hurt the people. So like, and I had to learn there is another way of communication, or how you can communicate being honest, but being honest without hurting the other party when you tell them that you have just another opinion. So nobody told me this before, like I grew up with a different setup, because like my dad was really different in this case, and at home we learned like you can have all the shit at home, but outside you don't show that that you are sad, or that something happened at home, all the things like that. So that turns out, for example, as well, that we he screamed at me at home, and just before we left the home, and then I had to that you dry my tears and went up and go out of the house and smile and do like this if nothing had happened. And or like when we picked up the phone and tell me, well, I'm not available, this person should call on another time or whatever. It just not feel right for me. It was not part of my core values, and I start hating that too much that I switched completely in the other extreme, being honest all the time, really straight, doesn't matter what people think about me. And I'm super grateful that we start this journey with our coach 4.5 years ago, and that we met him, because it changed so much our life, not only on the business perspective, but as well on the personal perspective, because I learned so much more how to communicate and how to feel and how to express myself, how to reflect, why do people that what they do, and to understand why they are doing this, because you learn over the time more and more situations and more reasons why people act like they act, without being being in this area in a professional way. But you get the feeling, and you learn different patterns, and you learn this because you have to learn it in way of negotiation. So we learn this on this perspective through the business and how we do business. And doing business does mean so much more than just knowing your numbers, know how to do marketing, and be good in sales and be good in negotiation. There is so much more behind the scenes what you don't really see when you step into this field. And personal development is a huge field, what you have to focus on. And one of my core values is being honest, and I think this is why I was so triggered by this podcast as well from Mareike, because this is like just a word what triggers me all the time. And when I explain it to when I talk about my big 5 of core values, what I have in my life, is I choose the word transparency, because for me is being honest part of that. And this is something what is really, really important for me, and non-negotiable. If somebody lied to me and I figure that out, this is just a no-go for me. This is something you can really break the trust immediately. And then there is almost no way back. I don't want to close the door directly to be close, because it all depends as well on the situation. But not being honest and not being transparent is really a big no-go for me. And this is why it's so important for me as well to talk to. And I'm super grateful to have my friend, what I was telling you now, the situation, and that she is, that she can take this feedback as well, and is open to work on not only on the friendship but as well on herself, and do this personal development. And there are different stages as well how you can do this, but there are different ways you can reach your goal. And having people around you being open and being able to change and want to have the change if it's needed it's super important. And this is why as well a lot of business owners, if they start their business and they go through the change, they're losing a lot of friends or a lot of as well sometimes family members in their environment, because they are not open to change with you. They want to stay how they are, who they are, and they don't want to change with you. And if this is the case, this is the reason why most business owners are having will have a new environment, a new friendships, and building up their own family and their own small environment they feel comfortable in, because this is the other way just does not make you happy. And from when I reflected as well on my environment, on my friends who are still with us after this big change we did in the last 4 years, is like they all are able to change for themselves as well. They all have the interest and are committed in this friendship and taking care of us, like as well we are taking care of them, and accept and respect the way and work on this friendship as well. And if you have people they just want to keep the status quo, this is not working at all, and this is not working for business owners or for entrepreneurs at all. And this is where you have a huge difference, in my opinion. Okay, and this is what I realized so far. Maybe I will, in few years, I have another realization, and I see the things way clearer than now. And I'm sure it will be like this, because I'm happy to learn, I'm happy to change, and I'm happy that I will not be the same person in 2 years than I am now, because I love to learn, I love to grow, and I love to change, always for the better. And this I did not expect when I was listening to this podcast that it triggers me so much, that I have this feeling to implement it directly. So I'm really grateful that Mareike gave me this chance and this motivational kick in my butt to do that. And it was just the right time. And I was so motivated and so inspired, or aspired, like how you want to call it, that I want to share this with you today. It comes from the bottom of my heart, because this is really the fundament and the basic where you should build your life, and be honest to yourself and to your people surrounding you. This is the only way how you can be happy and feel comfortable in every situation. And sometimes being honest means as well that a lot of pain is follow up as well, because maybe the other person don't want to have this honesty, or don't want to, some people just love to, they know what's the truth, but they don't want to talk about it, or they don't want to have this realization. And then it's a little bit difficult, and can be that it's really like a painful situation how until you solve the situation for both of you. So this can happen as well. And I want to encourage you being honest first of all to yourself, asking you these questions, even though you are scared that you don't like the answer. Going deep, listen to yourself, and don't just scratch on the surface. Really go deep and make sure that you mean and feel the answer like it is. And then in the next step, I want to encourage you to implement this answer, to continue and to bring it in action as well if it's needed. And doesn't matter what the consequences are, because if you would not, the consequences will always be the same. You will not be happy, and depending on the lie in this case, it can break you, and don't let that be, and be honest to yourself. You are responsible for being happy in life. And with this, I hope I could help you a little bit, talking about being honest and how you can, just change your life or change your perspective on different situations. And if there are any questions, like always, don't hesitate to contact us with mail@legacybuildersglobal.com. And I'm looking forward to hear you next week with another topic. And again, both of us, Jan Mark and myself, and we will have the next episode together again. So have a great day. Looking forward to talk to you next week, and have a good one. Bye.
Do you want to get paid? Introducing Legacy Builders Global, where everybody gets paid. We don't create investors. We create legacy builders. Legacy Builders Global. Visit us at www.legacybuildersglobal.com.